Hello and welcome to UniVerse Touch. Here, week after week, we shape a completely new narrative for the world as we know it. So here in the universe of Aelia Kos, you can be, sorry, I have to fix my shirt here. You can be both spiritual and wealthy. You can care for the world and create an extraordinary life for yourself. Today, we're going deeper into the narrative of what we are creating and what we are introducing to the world, which is practically a completely different way of doing business. In the previous episode, I talked more about our spiritual understanding, our spiritual narrative. So, what do we actually believe in terms of spirituality? And today, I will tell you something that I think I have never opened up to the world the way you're going to hear today about how do we actually do business in the universe, and how do we invite all of our clients, our members, and our event participants to do business as well. Are you ready? Let's do that. I'd like to give you a little bit of context about how did we end up believing and standing for what we stand for. I have been in business for 5 years myself and have been working in other people's businesses for my entire adult life. And I was always observing that even the more successful businesses, they seemed like they were eating up the people that they were involved. That the people really had to let go of their entire life and dedicate it to the business. And their relationships were breaking, their health was breaking, their nerves were definitely broken. And I was realizing that the way we have built business, it is actually destructive for us human beings. And we are the ones who created that system. It's not a natural system, it's a man-made system. So why are we doing that? Why we're not changing it? Why are we not creating something that's actually really supportive for us and for the world that we're living in? So contemplating deeply on that and seeing all the aspects of business that now have gone so far away that they feel cheap and they feel like off. And you kind of do them because everybody's doing them, and at the same time you almost like swear you would never do them if you could choose and do otherwise. I realized that we do have a choice. We're in the crisp of our civilization. Literally, what happens in the next 10, 15 years will be shaping the centuries to come. Because we've been called to redefine what it means to be human, what it means to be working, what it means, how we connect to the world, and if we are to survive overall. Business for me, it's not just work. It is actually one of the most precise acceleration tools we have ever created as humanity. And the only thing that has gone off right now is what we're accelerating. So we have mastered the tool. The tool is perfect. The outcome needs to change. And while these might sound difficult, it's actually way easier than needing to change the entire tool or find a tool that works. So what we are proposing in the universe is actually not something new. It is tearing down all the layers that have cheapened what business was actually meant to be, and going back to the essence of what it actually is. Let me take you into some examples. Let's take as an example that I like a lot the example of referrals. Referrals is a great business method, right? And yet, how many times have you felt weird or off when somebody's referring something to you, unless it comes from genuine interest? A lot, probably. Why is that happening? It is because we have lost the authenticity. And authenticity is one of our main pillars in the business of the universe of Aelia Kos. And the authenticity does start from you knowing exactly what you want to stand for. So if you're starting for something bigger in your life, it's very rare that you will be able to engage in business practices that don't actually fulfill you. And that's what's happening very fast and very radically right now. So, how about we take a step back and really look at some aspects today, here, together, that you're able to be able to see as you go forward and decide for yourself how do you want to do business from now on. Let's talk about business relationships, collaborations, investments, hires. Business is mainly focused and based on people, right? What's really missing there? What I see is missing is actually the trust. We don't take the time to build the trust, so we need to go into control. So we have stopped paying attention to who we're working with, and we are only trying to control the outcomes. But that creates a very interesting human behavior, which is actually childlike human behavior and negative childlike human behavior. The people are trying to hide from their responsibilities. And people don't really like each other, but they don't say anything. And there's a very negative environment that is never being talked out. What ends up happening is that you end up working in a toxic environment because you never really actually like to be around those people. And you never really took the time to get to know them so you can actually know if you like them or not. So, reverse engineering what's happening right now, we need to go back and build the trust and find methods that really accelerate this trust. So, I will tell you later the methods that we have found, but keep that in mind for now. The second aspect is like why business even exists. Business is not about selling stuff to people. Business is about covering needs and being in service to something that somebody else needs and you have. You don't sell something just because you want to sell it. The person buys because they need what you have. Distorted. We have distorted it. Like, let me create that, push it into the market. Is there any time in your life that you like to be pushed on anything? I definitely not. Not. Well, but when you need something and somebody's offering to you, aren't you more than willing to buy it? Of course, you need it, you want it. Somebody else has it. Amazing. The transaction happens. So, how about we reverse engineer? And we realize that business is actually service. It's actually serving somebody else. And that takes a lot of humility because you cannot try to serve them with what you want. You have to see what they need. So you have to take a step back and say, from all the gifts that I'm carrying, all the knowledge, or the assets that I have in my hands, what does the other person actually need? And allow them to choose and trust them that they will choose for their highest good because they know what they need. And that's a third aspect that I keep saying, and it's so funny and frustrating at the same time. We need to stop treating people like children and start treating them like adults, that they know what they want, and if they want something, they will go for it. They know why they're working where they're working and what they're doing and what is their mission and their purpose. And we don't need to micromanage them and run behind them and keep telling them what to do. And just really see the light and the capabilities and the divine qualities that somebody else is bringing to the table. Because after all, if that's not the case, why bother? Why bother having colleagues that you don't appreciate their gifts? Why bother clients that you don't believe they know what they're doing? If they don't know what they're doing in the right things, what does it say for you? Right? So let's start allowing others to show their true colors, appreciating what they bring into the world without needing to always push our own agenda into everybody. And that ties into the authenticity that we are so big about. And that's a very big aspect because we have, especially in business, for some reason, we have learned to be, by definition, inauthentic. And I have been contemplating on that, like, why does that really happen? And that ties back to the previous point that it happens because we're trying to sell something to somebody who we believe that doesn't want it. If we believe that we are creating the best possible service and the other person wants it, there is no reason to try to convince them about anything, to try to give them less quality, to try to push things upon them. It's clear we have something that they want, and there's a transaction, there is business happening. But the thing is that for some reason we have learned to put these masks when we go into business. And there is a very interesting belief behind that. There's a belief that if we come up as who we are, the other person will not like it. Can you touch the essence of that? How can you touch how deeply rooted is a low self-esteem, low belief in yourself, really not truly seeing who you are and what you bring to the table? So it's the previous point reversed. So how can we transform that? I strongly believe that the more you see about somebody else and the more you know, first, it's easier to build the trust. Or if this person doesn't fit you, to say, I'm sorry, I cannot work with you. That's perfect. We're not supposed to work with everybody. We're 8 billion. We don't need that. We just need a few people from this 8 billion. Second, when we show our true colors, first of all, we remember why are we even here and why are we doing business and what is our role in the business. That becomes very, very obvious. So if we are supposed to be a leader, we become the leader. Who's taking something and growing it further, we become this person. If the one who's supporting others, we become the supporter. So every to play, and usually these roles that are in are the ones that we love the most. So the only way you can be assigned roles is by showing who you truly are. So authenticity. Instead of going to control, we can go into showing who we are and really accepting that this is our role and loving it. So when we do business, we try to go through all of these aspects as fast as possible. So that's why we have started creating Our experience are based upon these principles, and I referred to them in our previous episode. But the reason behind having established these principles is actually a business reason. I realized that we can accelerate trust, and trust is one of the fundamental aspects of business. And we accelerate trust when we can see many versions of the person that we have in front of us fast. So if you can see them how they are when they are doing business, when they are in their personal space, when they are feeling great, when they're not feeling so great, when they're vulnerable, when they're strong, with others, with you in a group alone, you have already condensed almost like the entire variety of faces that this person might have. So it's so much easier for you to actually understand if you can work with this person. So trust is built upon that, having seen as many faces as possible of the human that you're supposed to work with. And trust can only be built on authenticity. You have to show who you are so that the other person trusts you. Because somehow, when we don't do that, the other person gets it. And they always like keep a little bit of a caution and check 3 times, and they don't exactly say what they're supposed to say, and they hold back. That's because they are getting from us the message that we are not fully there. We are not fully who we are. What tends to happen, and we see time and again, every time we do a universe experience that happens, is that when people trust you, when people connect with you, because they have seen who you are, and when people love what you're doing, they will automatically start talking about it to others. So the referrals we were talking before, in their essence, is actually somebody loving what you do and telling it to somebody else. And that's an innate quality in human beings. So you can go into your business and start seeing all the aspects that might feel a little bit off. How do you do your marketing? How do you do your sales? How do you run the business? How is the finances? Depends. In different businesses, there are different aspects that feel off. But usually there's one or two or three or four, depends who you are, that you kind of feel like that doesn't align with who I am. But that's the way business is, so it's fine. I don't believe that. I really don't. In my own experience, every time I tried to apply a tool that was like, that's how business is done, I hate it. It goes against who I am fundamentally, but well, that's how it's done. It never really worked. And I've seen it in so many businesses I work and consult, that in the age we're entering, we are actually not supposed to be coping business models. We're supposed to find the one that is more aligned to who we are, and that's going to be the one that works. So you can expect to see a variety of businesses, all of them are very unique, almost as unique as their founders, with some similarities, but not too many. Because we are supposed to create these very, very, very unique clusters that when somebody enters, they say, that's exactly what I have been looking for. It's exactly what I need. And then there is loyalty. And then there is trust. And then there is real service. So we are supposed to become such a unique service and tool that there is no comparison. So competition dissolves because everybody, when they are becoming their very, very pristine, most clear version of how they're supposed to run a business and what this business is supposed to become, there's no business that is actually the same. They might be close by, similar, but they're not the same. So the competition doesn't really exist in the world we're entering. but there's a lot of collaboration in different layers. And we are yet to crack that in the extent that we actually want and need it. But that's the future. That's where we're going. And that's exactly where we're going also with the universe. The universe of Aelia Kos was conceived as a private club for conscious businesses. Practically, it is a very old system. Private clubs have existed for centuries, especially in the US and in the UK. And they were always meant to support business owners. So you go and meet people, you have a great time in a beautiful environment, and from that, automatically, the people that know you and trust you, and you have spent time with them, and they love what you're doing, they either do business with you or connect with others to do business. That's the essence of the private club. Then each one has their own niche, their own location, their own thing that makes them special. For us, it's practically embedding self development and spirituality into traditional business. But we don't just embed it in the practices that we offer, we actually embed it in the way we do business and the way we propose business can be. So, our proposal for joining the universe is not only to come and get an exceptional service will support your business, but actually allow your business to shape a new narrative in how business can be in the future. More aligned, more human, less destructive, more positive. Literally creating legacy through business. It is possible. We have all the tools, we have all the methods, and we actually even have the intentions lately. We simply need to realize that we don't need to remain stuck in the ways we've been doing pretty much anything. We created humans, we can change it. If one way worked, another way will work also. It's not really a problem. Why do we get so unboxed? Say that's the way it has always worked. That's the way it's supposed to continue. No. Let's make new ways that actually reverse engineer the mistakes or the things that don't work so well, because there's a lot of them in business. We keep what works, we expand in positive impact, and all of a sudden, a completely new way of doing business emerges that makes us excited about doing business again. Because you cannot even imagine how many times I encounter people who are tired and fed up and done, bored to death from their successful business on paper. And if they could, they would just check out anytime. Why? Why? We spent more of the half our lives there. Couldn't it also be exciting and fulfilling and enjoyable and fun and profitable and successful and growing and all of the aspects that it already is? Why not? Who said that in order to work it needs to be boring? Who said that? Let's redefine that. This is our invitation in the universe. Let's find new ways that blend who you are and what you're supposed to do, and that becomes one crystal. And it's so clear to you, it's so clear to the world, that all of a sudden it just expands on its own. There is no struggle, there is just alignment. And the deeper you align, the more comes. But not from effort, not from trying to get, not from trying to convince, not from just by doing it right, by doing the way you think it's supposed to be by serving others, by serving your activation yourself, all of a sudden, business becomes the most important tool for self actualization. And it is a wonderful tool for that. Wonderful. Because in business, it's one of the very few places that you see directly your imprint to the world. You take a decision, you build it, you put it out, bam. If it's successful, it's you. If it's not successful, it's still you. So it's so beautiful to actually see, am I moving in the right direction? Am I becoming who I'm supposed to become? Or am I just spending my life doing something that is unfulfilling, trying to convince myself that that's the only way it can work, instead of trying to find a new way, joining hands with others who are finding new ways? What are we doing? And why are we doing that? So today feels like the end of a cycle because of last episode having some issues with internet, and I do hope that this one is registering correctly, but I cannot really guarantee because I'm in a region that internet is not so good anymore. From the next time, I will be changing the format a little bit. Probably will continue on YouTube, but it will become like a podcast. So it will be announced, and then if you have subscribed and you have clicked the notify button, you'll be able to get the notification and know when it's going live. You might probably not get the "we are now going live" message, but you will get that a new episode has been released. So do suggest that you do that if you want to keep following us, because you will keep bringing very interesting things to the world. We are in the universe, we're in a stage of a very big step and big breakthrough in what is supposed to happen next, both in energetics and in structure. They're coming together. I'm really excited about what's to come because we are becoming even more unconventional. We're going even further in what we believe, and we're actually calling all of you to be part of it. So, one of the ways that we are starting from this month is actually disconnecting completely the brain from this decision making. What I mean is that we want to empower each one of you to actually sense if what is being suggested to you is the right thing for you, and trust your intuition in such a depth that you can take moves towards your ultimate becoming without even needing to know details. I know that many of you are already able to do that. Most of our clients, they do feel it's like, doesn't feel right, or that's for me. I'm there. I'm coming no matter what. So we will be opening that to even more of you. So we have started a process of pre-booking the next experience. But you don't know anything about the next experience. You don't know where it is. You don't know when it is. You don't know who's going to be there. You don't know anything. You only get to receive the energetics, and you get to connect to one of us, myself or our team, to share with you more of what to expect as of your own transformation. And then you're invited to book. And of course, you're giving a bit of a better rate because it's very courageous, and we understand that, and we love courage. And you get to pre-book, and then later on, when the details are announced, you get to know the details. So you get to be surprised about the country that it's in, the property that we have chosen, the time of the year, why you've chosen this time of the year, and all the details are coming as a beautiful surprise that you're called to embark on a journey of exploration. So I'm very curious to see which are the ones who are trusting their intuition so deeply to say yes to that. Because I love these people. And of course, if for any reason you cannot attend because your child is being married, right? Or you are being married or something big is happening that you cannot move, you do have the chance to move your credit to the next experience. So it's not about like you either do that or you lose it, but we want to start shaping the field even further for you to be sensing what we are unlocking and for you to be able to connect to the field way before you're there. It is already happening with many of our clients. The activation starts the moment they say I'm in, not when they arrive. And it's becoming so potent that I am pretty sure that if you allow yourself to connect and ask, is the next universe experience for me? You will know directly. On our end, our promise is that the next cycle of experience that's starting from the next one, we will go even deeper in tangible legacy building and wealth creation, conscious wealth creation. It will happen in ways that are completely new to the industry. It will happen in the most authentic and profound way you can find out there. We're always trying that. We're not about showing off. We're not about trying to convince you. We're not about creating a lot of fluff and a lot of fuzz. We're about essence. We're about depth. We're about realness. So we are going even further on that. It will be next level. I'm so looking forward to that. And I personally have the sense that the next experience will unlock an entire layer, collective layer in our consciousness that we haven't been able to touch until now. And it will be one of the first ones under our roof that connects divine masculine and divine feminine energies. We have been mainly working on divine feminine energies because I was feeling that that's what the world is needed. It's needing more, especially the business world. And now I feel that the divine masculine is also coming into the surface in a non-mental, non-logical way, a more profound, a more prehistoric, a more like tangible, somatic divine masculine energy wants to arise, and we will be there to foster it to happen. So if that's you, find me, comment here, find me on LinkedIn, find me on Instagram as Aelia Kos, text me, and I will send you more details and the ways to pre-book your experience. On my end, I feel that we are really on the threshold of something very significant. But I cannot tell you yet because it's not defined and it's not on paper. But we might have great news very, very soon that I'm very excited about. I will leave it for when this is ready to be shared. For the next time, we'll be opening a new cycle as we're changing the month, and you can expect something that you haven't heard before from us. I will not tell you yet. I will just ask you to subscribe and to click the notify button, and you will know very soon. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting what we're building. Thank you for being brave enough to onboard yourself on a new way of doing business. This is huge. This is not something small. Most people don't even dare to think of something different. So give yourself some credits. Be with us, connect with the field, be in contact with us, follow us, send us your comments. The more we connect in different ways, the more what is being created gains momentum. And soon enough, we will not even remember that business used to be boring eating our soul out, and we'll just say like, was it always this magnificent journey into our souls, into the universe, and into money, and into creating legacy? Was it always like that business? That's what I envision to pass on to the next generations. If you're with me, show up. Let me know you're there. Love to connect with you. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next week, same time, same place. And until then, keep becoming who you're becoming. Keep trusting that your soul knows. Keep walking the steps that feel right. Keep shaping business in the way that needs to be shaped. We are here. We're all doing it. It's going to be magnificent. Thank you.